Good evening, one and all, to the Temple of Speed at Monza, the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, for round 4 of MRC X-Treme. It is our last race here for the week. We'll be moving on to a new track as of Friday, but either way, it's our no assist drivers, and they'll be racing 27 laps, total distance travel of, let me find it in my notes, 95.298 miles. We are located in Parco di Monza in Monza, and we are just checking my race notes, must have missed that, but anyway, looks like we've got a few cars on track on the meantime, and it looks like it will be the Mercedes of Colin getting us underway. But in the meantime, very quickly, with me at the moment, even though he is racing as well, is in the Ferrari in front of the beautiful Tifosi. It is Tier 1's very own Ant.
Buonasera a tutti e benvenuti a Monza. Like Jenny Infantino, today I feel Italian, so yeah.
Yeah, we got quite a bit of
Italian car.
Yeah, we got quite a bit of Italian at the start of Tier 2 on Monday, with you being on lead. Yeah, I did see that back, and the multinational showing his muscles on that one. Anyway, gonna go on board with Colin as he goes down towards the first chicane, the Rettifilio chicane. Takes a nice line through there, and then we're going to be going through Curva Grande. I don't know if it's had a name change, but I'm going through calling them the names that I technically know of. And then we'll be heading into the second chicane, which is the Della Roggia chicane. And then we'll be heading into the first of two Lesmos, Lesmo 1, and then into Lesmo 2. And then it's a flat out run, DRS wide open, as we go under the old track of the oval into the Ascari chicane. Nice line, full attack, and Colin decides to back out, so we'll find the car that is, let's see, who was the one behind him? It was an Aston Martin. Here we are, Micro Mashes. He's coming through Parabolica to finish his lap, and he's going in the pits as well. So, but you've seen a lap of the track anyway, so we'll
people are laying you down.
Yeah, well, we've got Chris coming through Parabolica now, and hopefully he'll cross the line and set a time. Yes, he does, but then Baby Hornet, slightly behind him, sets a quicker time. So provisional pole at the moment is a 19.9 set by Baby Hornet in the Papaya McLaren, as Soze slots the Red Bull in P3, but Bobo puts his Mercedes currently on that front row provisionally. Scottish Ninja drops in P4 in the second of the two McLarens. Time slowly rolling in now as Ben puts his Williams currently P4. But yeah, try and do an onboard lap and about having to use 3 cars at once, because one backed out, one went in the pits, and caught one at the end. 3 cars for one track run. Lovely stuff. Just trying to get the YouTube up on my phone so I can interact with any of you guys watching, as Freddie has done a 19.6.
Good evening,
My evening, Mark. My phone's not working, so I'll get back to YouTube at some point.
He is, yeah. Can't you hear him?
I can't hear Mark.
How weird.
Weird
I can hear both of
indeed.
you.
I can hear you, but I can't hear Mark. This is great. And my Wi-Fi doesn't want to be working on my phone, so I can't get the YouTube up. And yeah, YouTube's not working, but we'll carry on either way.
This is so strange.
See Jules coming through Ascari in his V-Carb. A few technical hindrances.
Mark's rejoined.
Yeah, I see.
Maybe you should check if you've muted him.
I shouldn't have. Sorry about this. As Jules is P3. I cannot access YouTube on my phone because my phone's not playing ball, so I'll have to leave that and try it during the 5 minutes between qualifying and race, because I don't want to take anything away from qualifying. As we'll follow Colin through Curva Grande in the Mercedes. Let's just take the where is it? Telemetry off. One too many things on screen. So we've got Colin coming through Lesmo 2. He's going to get a lovely tow from the McLaren just ahead on the run down to Ascari. Currently sat P12 without a lap time. McLaren gets out of the way, releasing Colin on the straight run down to Parabolica. Throws the car in. Looks nice and planted through there. And crosses the line and puts himself P4 on the second row, just behind Jules. Separated by 9 thousandths between Jules and Colin on that second row. Freddie still on provisional pole in the Haas with a 19.6. Let's find someone who's on a lap. We'll jump to Rassam as he's on the way down to Parabolica in the Alpine. He's going to set his provisional time. Goes P10 in the Alpine, so smack bang middle. Run to RS Dam in the Kick Sauber. Coming through Ascari. Through Parabolica, just keeping it within track limits in the middle of the corner. Across the line goes P12, row 6 for the Sauber.
Oh, Carl, I can hear you.
Hey!
We're back. There we are.
Hey!
I joined again. I was like, I still can't hear you here. This is not good, this. So, and then you came online. Absolutely fantastic. Hello, good evening. Once
Hello.
again.
I don't know what was going off there. I don't know if it was my end internet-wise or whatnot. I just hope it wasn't.
No, I don't know, mate. Not sure.
I mean, I could hear both of you, so that was the weird thing.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? That was very strange. Very, very strange.
jump on board with Saviour in the second Sauber as he's just crossed the line to start his first flying lap. 8 minutes left on the clock here in qualifying for the X-Treme event, the no assist drivers. As I said earlier on, it is the last race of the week here in Monza, so it's everyone's last chance to feel the thrills and high speed of this fast, very demanding circuit. Looks simple, but every
anything but,
inch,
though, isn't it?
No, yeah, anything but.
Yeah, the lack of downforce makes this really technical.
Yeah,
it is.
Saviour DRS wide open on the run down to Ascari. One of the front runners in X-Treme, and he also was the overall winner last time out at Zandvoort, winning the tier 1 top 3, with Micromash and Bobo just rounding off that. As he crosses the line and goes P6, so he's currently on that third row, as Bobo with a 19.4 takes the provisional pole, putting a Mercedes on pole.
That'll second lap as well.
Yeah, that'll send the Mercedes fans happy for sure.
Wild.
Yep.
What's Jules doing? He's got up improved as well into third. What happened to Michael Mash? Sorry, I missed Michael Mash. Did he have a bit of a moment, maybe a scar?
I don't know, because I didn't quite catch any myself, because I was looking at laps as well. I'm going to try YouTube on my phone again so I can interact with the chat if anyone's in there. So give me 2 seconds on that one.
Same.
Yeah, I've got YouTube up finally after so much hassle and provocal. Anything but smoothly this evening.
So welcome to the 6 of you who are watching, so please do get involved, other than Ant.
Yes, and don't text and drive.
He's very good at that, in fairness.
Yeah, speaking of our multinational, we'll jump to him in the Ferrari in front of the Tifosi faithful as he's on his way into the Della Roggia chicane, channeling his inner Charles Leclerc this evening.
I am not that stupid.
Gets a bit of a wiggle on the exit of Lesmo 2, DRS wide open as he goes under the old track, down the hill and then back uphill again into the Ascari chicane. Looking nice and tidy, which is what we expect from one of our front runners in X-Treme and Tier 1. A driver of Ant's skill. Not putting any pressure on him whatsoever as he looks nice and tidy through parabolic.
I was thinking that.
Crosses the line and goes P3, puts the Ferrari on the second row.
Exactly the same time as Friddy as well.
To the millisecond.
Yeah, it was.
All we need is one more and then we've got 1997 all over again.
Yeah, we've got his teammate. We had a nice little... I don't know if he got hampered or not in the middle sector. It was behind 2 cars through the Lesmos, then Lesmo, and then he's got a bit of run. That Ferrari looks quite nice on the front end. Let's have a look at his run towards the line. This is going to be the 20s, 21.2 for Smith. Does improve by half a second. We're into 15th.
Still got over 3.5 minutes left, so plenty of time to get at least another run in. Got Lorpy coming through on the way through Curva Grande in his Alpine, on the way towards the Della Roggia chicane. 13th.
The blowhole in the Haasmobile.
He's, I think he's loving life in the Haas in X-Treme this season.
Oh, he's an absolute Haas hole. I can say that. I could put an H in front of it.
Lorpy with his DRS wide open on the run down to Ascari. Under the track again. I wonder what it would like to go round the old oval round here with these cars. Death trap.
Yeah, I don't think it would work. They're that bumpy, isn't it? That old oval. I don't think.
Yeah, we'll probably end up like
work,
poor old Alonso was after the Brazilian Grand Prix at the weekend. Not a nice feeling.
Absolutely.
We feel worse than example of this game.
Yeah, it will be, won't it?
Lorpy taking the shortest run to the line, goes P12 just ahead of the other Alpine of Rassam. So a slight improvement for Lorpy.
Chris improving 2.5 tenths. This could put him in the top, maybe around Colin.
Yeah, just jumped to the second best driver in MRC. Just thought I'd throw that one out there quickly. As he comes through Parabolica.
Just fourth, actually, funny enough, through Parabolica, which is interesting.
P7, but instantly drops to P8 as Ben with an 18.7.
Again!
He smashed qualifying. I think he smashed qualifying in Tier 1, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he did about an 18.4, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, he got a easy tour from Chris in fair.
Proper flexing, wow. I think. We can definitely say that Joni definitely has some kind of competition this season with the likes of Ben.
He doesn't have it his own way. No, he doesn't have it his own way at all. But then you've got Chris, Xavier as well, Kid, where he gets his setup sort of sorted, and that Tier 1 at that top end is looking extremely competitive. You can't actually call it.
Yeah, well, Tier 2 can be just as competitive, whether it's you got your usual suspects up front, but that mid-pack in Tier 2, it's just anyone's game. I mean, I'm involved in that. It's just so tightly contested in the midfield of Tier 2 as well. It's quite a balanced season across all three tiers.
It is. It's incredibly balanced, as you say, and incredibly competitive. And Stam's had a... That might be in the pits, I think it is.
Yeah, it does look like in the pits,
Yeah, so what does Baby Hornet? He's been really
Xavier
strong.
P2 in the Kickstarter 19.4.
Wow.
Slightly ahead of Bobo's Mercedes, but everyone will be on their last runs, low fuel. Track will be at its most grippiest. Bobo's invalidated, but will he get to the line before the checkered flag? He just does with a second to spare, so he can go again, so we'll follow him into the Rettifilio chicane as he massive lock up on the way in, trying to get the car stopped. Full attack mode, but he's lost it, and he's doing a bit of a handstand as well. Big impact with the wall, and that's Bobo's qualifying over. We went full attack mode with the last run of the session and bit a bit too much, so we'll follow Ant now as he's coming through Lesmer 2. DRS open, down the hill, under the old track, and then back up hill again towards Ascari. There is a Ferrari in the middle of the racing line.
Well, that says a lot.
It does.
And didn't go well then, mate, unfortunately, by the sounds of it.
Jules pops into P5 with his last lap.
And Xavier's invalidated and done as well. I think that's qualifying.
Yeah. We'll run through the grid when it comes up. But it is
a lot of standout performances there, I must say. Baby Hornet again having a really good race, and you got Vixen up there, Colin, Friddy once again, absolute standout performance there. I mean, Chris down in 11th. I'm not sure he'd be overly happy with that one, really. But yeah, there's a lot of good performances in there. Really, really strong.
Yeah,
I think
Baby
this race
Hornet
is
had a
awesome.
very good showing in Tier 1 at the start of the week as well. He's really took well to this game. And so has many others as well, as who wait for the final running order for the MRC X-Treme Italian Grand Prix. And here we are, we have Ben on pole in the Williams and sharing that front row with him is Saviour. Then we have Bobo in third, Freddie fourth, Jules fifth and sixth, Colin seventh, Vixen eighth, Kaiser Soze ninth, and Baby Hornet rounds out the top 10. We then go into the bottom half of the starting grid with Chris in 11th, Armar in 12th, Rassan 13th, RS Dam in 14th, Lorpy 15th, Smith 16th, B17 in 17th, funnily enough, and we'll round out the rest of the runners afterwards. So the fact that we've got B17 in 17th, bit of a coincidence, possibly.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen that one before.
No, it's a first. That's a first.
Yeah.
It does look dry, though, for the race, so everyone shouldn't be worrying too much about rain, I should think. But during the 5 minutes between now and the start of this race, I'll bring up some few informations of Monza. I did say how the distance they'll the tongue-tied drivers will be racing. It was a total of 95.298 miles, which is the 50% race of 27 laps. We have 11 corners here at Monza, 4 to the left and 7 to the right. The first official World Championship round was held on the 3rd of September 1950. The race lap record is still owned to this day by Rubens Barrichello, who set a 121.046 back in 2004. So that record is 20 years old and still going. Most successful drivers at Monza, it is shared with 5 wins apiece with Michael Schumacher and Sir Lewis Hamilton. And the most successful constructor at this circuit is Ferrari with 21, because they recently won it this year to add to that tally. Some memorable moments at this track, one in particular back in 1988, where it was the only round of that season where the McLaren duo of Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost failed to win. Yet, it was the first win and 1-2 for the Ferrari team since the death of their founder, Enzo Ferrari, when Gerhard Berger led home the 1-2 with Alboreto following second. 2000, we had Michael Schumacher matching Ayrton Senna's race wins, which he got a bit emotional in the post-race interviews. Not really going to go into too much depth with this one, but the track was obviously the high-speed nature of the track has been like it for many, many years. A couple fatalities here and there, but I'm not going to go into many details on that, because who wants sad information? We rather have the joyous informations, like as it happened this year, Charles Leclerc leading the pack home to win the 2024 Italian Grand Prix in front of the rip-roaring Tifosi. And in my opinion, I would say the podium here at Monza has to be one of the best on the calendar, because you'll be on the podium and you've got all the fans lining the start-finish straight, and when anyone who's driving for Ferrari here, we may see it with Lewis Hamilton next year, fingers crossed. And every time Ferrari do win at home, it is absolute uproar, and it's an absolute magical sight. I must admit that one.
Just very quickly,
Yeah,
I'm going to be leaving this because, well, we've got a Coke on now. So
yeah, that's no worries. It was nice for you to be in being here for a little bit.
Thank you, and
no worries.
Best of luck,
all
my
the
friend.
best on the race, mate.
Good luck to both of you as well. See you later.
Cheers. But yeah, you're right with a lot of that. I think, of course, you're right. That podium, of course, over the start-finish straight. It is absolutely a fantastic scene, and an Italian driver, you know, especially winning, or the Ferrari winning, is just, as you say, creates uproar. I share your sentiments there with hopefully Lewis will bring that one next year, if not next year. I think they're more looking at 2026, but he's got to be he's got to be happy, looking forward to 25. The way that Ferrari's looking at this moment.
Yeah,
but, I think yeah, I agree. I think it's we've got luckily a nice sunny race this evening though, and there we go. We've got the 5 minutes seem to be up already. That was very quick. I hope
Flies by.
Up early, and unless I didn't see it. Every driver. No, I don't think I've actually seen this for a long time. Every driver starting on the medium tyres.
Yeah, we have 100% everyone thinking the same thing for the start to this one. I mean, to be honest, it's no surprise because, yes, the hards, when they get going, have got some life and pace in them. But I don't think you really want to be starting on the soft tyre because they just get absolutely shredded round here.
Yeah, it seems the left front is the one that takes the most beating round here. And then you're right, the softs, they're okay, but not great as a race tyre round here. But I'm surprised there's a few bit further back, maybe not taking sort of that risk. Even Micromash starting out of position there in 19th, that he isn't potentially starting on the different tyres. So it's going to be an interesting one. Of course, the chances of safety cars can be quite high around here at fast circuit, as you've said, and well, the fastest circuit in the world. And the walls aren't that far away. When you have an accident, you have a big one. I had one on Monday evening in the wet coming into. I did a pure and utter reincarnation of Kimi Antonelli, but in a different colour car. Through Parabolica in the intermediates, and it just it didn't end well, naturally. But yeah, this is I think because everyone's on those medium tyres, it's going to be interesting if who can get them working, who's got that, who's potentially looking at doing an undercut, and who's going to pit when. And the strategies because of that, again, risk of the safety cars. There's a lot that's going to happen over the next few.
Ben, he's overshot his grid box. So everyone's joining up as we wait for Micromash to take the final positions at the back along with a few others. And then we'll have the 5 red lights to get this one underway. And here we go as we wait for the lights. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are racing in Monza for MRC X-Treme. It looks like a very good getaway for the front two. Ben and Xavier side by side on the run down to the Rettifilio chicane. Xavier on the inside gets the position, and everyone trying to filter in the best they can. There's little bits of contact and carbon fibre going in the mid-pack, but it is Xavier that leads through Curva Grande with Ben tucked in behind and Bobo in third as they now enter into the Della Roggia chicane. Everyone trying to take it as easy as they will on this opening lap. Bobo is now up to P2 ahead of the Williams, so Ben not having the best of starts, but he is tucked up behind the Mercedes as they go under the old track down towards the Ascara chicane, as Xavier's opened up a 1 second gap already from Bobo. So Xavier already looking to get his foot down. He's already got the over second gap, because we will have DRS activated at the end of this lap, because we only have to wait 1 lap instead of 2 with the rule changes.
I've been looking through the field, and there's a few bits of carbon fibre flying, but nothing too major really. Oh, well, the Scottish Ninja, I think he had a big moment through Parabolica. He had Michael Mash up the back of him, and there's a few little movements and shakers. Michael Mash up a few spots, E17 as well, and Loppy, the biggest winners. But yeah, everyone's sort of little bits of contact, the concertina effect, but no one's got any sort of wing plates missing, no front noses missing, anything like that. So everyone continuing on this lap.
Yeah, we've got no 1 lap pitters neither, so that's nice to see. You can see the position changes on the left hand side. We have, well, the biggest winners I can see are Micromash and Lorpy with 3 places gained apiece. The biggest loser, sadly, from the start is Rassam down 4 in 17th.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this little battle with Chris Bailey and Casey Soze side by side, almost into the Lesmos, and Soze got the DRS, but I tell you what, oh, actually Chris got the DRS as well outside, but they're into Ascari side by side. I think there's a little tap as well from Soze, just the way that the overspeed worked, but okay. And Chris has held that position, but I tell you what, he's outside, well outside of Baby Hornet's DRS, so he could be very, very
we've got
vulnerable.
3 wide.
Look at Loppy through the middle! Where did that come from? The Alpine of Loppy through and took both. That's not even a DRS point.
No, he went full attack and just slotted it through the Tier 1 teammates, because as we know, Chris and Soze are teammates at McLaren for Tier 1.
Turn 1 as well.
It's looking
my goodness me.
It is very tight, and
no,
it's only lap.
Places Loppy, but Soze, wow. Oh, Scottish Ninja, unfortunately, had to pay it. I'm not sure why, but a 10-second penalty for that. That's unlucky.
Yeah, lap 3, very and we're already getting the Hodgie House, and it's only lap 3.
I know you're doing well here. Oh, his new nose for Grant, and he's gone on to the. I'll tell you in a second when I can. Let's have a quick look. What does he got on to? He's on to the hard tyres, so that's going to be an interesting one. See how long he can go and get them warmed up. But yeah, you have already had the Hodgie Hells. It's good. There's been a few of those tonight already.
Courtesy of Soze, Lorpy and Chris at that point, as we're looking at the battle for the quite the front few couple places. Ben leads Saviour, followed by Bobo, Jules and Ant. Close together. And then it's 1.3 to Vixen in P6, but we'll follow this front Gagler cars as they're all jostling for position, as Ben just gets absolutely swamped on the straight because the DRS. He's lost 1-2 places, almost 3, but Jules plays safely, slots in behind the Williams. So that's Ben gone from P1 to P3 in just a long straight, but that's how powerful the DRS is at Monza. As soon as you get a good toe and a good run out of the Parabolica, you just got to get yourself set up, hooked up behind the car in front, and then it's just a simple slingshot on the run down to the Rettifilio chicane.
Yeah, what's going to be interesting now is there's a good gap because of the battling with Casey Soze. He's got 2 seconds to the back of Baby Hornet, and he's got Bailey. Micromash had a fantastic opening couple of laps. He's up into 12th on the back of them and looking very feisty, very racy as well. So this one, I think, is going to be a good battle to see if he can come through on, of course, his fellow Tier 1 compadres. And so it gets a little bit wild through the first part of Ascari, and it's going to hamper him down the next straight. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting battle as well, because you've got Loppy, who's we've just seen is quick, and Armour Red we know is as well. So I think this is a further down. I'm going to keep my eye on this battle from turns back, because this is going to be an interesting one. Vixen's also as well lost a bit of a gap to Ant. That's a good 2 seconds, so he could be at risk as well. Ooh, Scottish Ninja, I think that might have been. No, it's probably Monica. Oh no, it was the second Nesmo. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I think a good battle that's going to go. Oh, that's interesting. Michael Mash didn't seem to have the overspeed on Soze down the start-finish straight. Only 1 change there. So yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on this battle further back as well.
Yeah, I'm currently on the front 5 as we had one position change, Ben taking P2 from Bobo. Saviour managing to hold on to the lead on the run down to the Rettifilio chicane at the start of that lap, so must have got a good run out of Parabolica, but Ben is now looking at the Kick-Sauber DRS Open, and he's already made the position change as they go under the old track, even way before the Ascari. So that's Ben back into the lead. So a bit of leapfrogging between the front three cars at least, but Jules and Ant staying relatively close. Freddie 1.8 seconds back with the likes of Vixen, Colin and Baby Hornet, as we have a yellow flag at the Rettifilio chicane. That will be Scottish Ninja in the McLaren, as Ben's got a good gap from Saviour and the rest of them. I think he's going to hold on to first into the chicane. He does, as you will and as you are for the top five as they come through the first couple of corners, as Micromash has gone
out.
And we have a virtual.
What's happened there? Yeah, that's actually on the rundown into breaking into turn one. I don't know if he maybe got pushed onto the grass as they were all fighting with Soze Lopi. Bailey's dropped a spot. I don't know, I'm going to have a look through. Yeah, Bailey, I think he had a contact with Bailey. Bailey's missing half the front wing. So there's been some contact there on that run down. Maybe there were three wide on the grass. I'm not 100%. I'd pushed back a little bit. So yeah, that's hurt Micromash. He's out, but also hurt Bailey, who's now got wing damage.
Yeah, so that'll be a trip to the pits for a new front wing on Chris's Haas.
Yeah,
and most likely
now. So that's yeah.
Yeah, and most likely a set of hard tyres to get a longer stint in and hopefully gain what time he loses with having to. Well, he's not gonna. He's not gonna lose time with it being. Hang on, it's saying a virtual. Yeah, I see a.
But we've got the safety car. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So that's a very, very interesting one, I think. Yeah, Soze is quite slow under this, looking for the Delta. So it's going to be interesting to see if we see anybody pitting, like you said, go for that hard tyre. I'm looking at the leads, and
all of the front three have gone in. Yes, front everyone. I think it looks like everyone's coming in.
Soze is in. Everyone's in. Wow. Gee,
yeah,
every single driver. Wait a minute. But to be fair, the hards will last a very, very long time. It makes sense.
Yeah, everybody's in.
Be thankful for that. I wouldn't be surprised if Scottish Ninja, if he's got another set of tyres, if he can go on to, pardon me, make a pit stop or two and get the hards back on as well and make him last.
That was almost like a mini red flag scenario where everyone into the pits gets a free tyre change and straight back out again.
It was a little bit, wasn't it? It was a bit strange.
I think that's the first that we've had everyone pitting at the same time.
Yeah, that was very strange. I can't believe that. That was ridiculous. That was literally follow the leader. That one through the pits, but it's going to be an interesting one now because we've just seen who can make the mediums last and work. So now who can make the hard tyres work as well. Chris, of course, had to change his wings, so he's lost some places. He's saying in a few of the chats that he is struggling with the Haas and the way it handles. And even on equal performance, they do handle differently. I do agree with him.
Yeah, as much as they say, the cars are equal, that they're not. Some handle differently to others. Not as equal as people think they are.
Yeah, exactly. If I was Scottish Ninja, I would pit at the end of this lap, unless he has pitted, and get that 10
no, he's still on the same tyres as he was when he passed the safety car.
Yeah, but he's on the hards though, so it's a difficult one. I mean, personally, I think I would pit. He's struggling already with a little bit of however, the car's handling not very well for him tonight. But yeah, I mean, I would look at potentially pitting and getting rid of that 10 seconds and then being on the back of the pack if you can pit twice. But it depends on how the safety car operates, and he's struggling for grip a lot at this moment in time. So it's unfortunately for Grant.
Yeah, and like you say, with everyone on the hard tyre now, it's and most of these, I think all of these will easily get to the end with how long the lifespan is for the hard tyre. Yes, the tyre won't be as good towards the end as probably there would have been if they pitted a little bit later, but if you've got a safety car out there, you got to take advantage of it, and especially here with the slipstreaming and the DRS, and it's so easy to overtake, especially in towards turn 1 with the DRSs and the slipstreams and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could quite easily, do these few laps under the safety car and not take even a percentage really out of the hard compound tyres. So, this will help everybody to take those to the end. It's just about getting the heat into them is going to be really, really, really difficult to do that. But I'd imagine the safety car will come in at the end of this lap with everybody being close, practically packed together. I know Chris said he's struggling with the Haas and the way the handling is, but we know he's a tough driver and a top racer, so I'm sure he'll have something to do coming through the pack and doing what he can.
Yeah, as we know, Chris is a fighter. He doesn't give up. And he'll have to use all of his racing knowledge to get towards the front, as safety car is in. The Aston Martin will trundle down to Parabolica and into the pits as Ben takes the pace, and everybody trying to get... That is a shot and a half. Everyone, or near enough everybody, weaving all they can to get the heat into those hard tyres, as we have Kisa Soze with a 10-second penalty for collision with Colin as we're ready to get going again. And I think Ben's gone already before Parabolica. He's gone very early.
Yeah, really trying to catch everybody napping. God, he can't overtake to the start-finish line now, but so it does give him that bit of breathing room.
Yeah, he's safe from Saviour. Down towards the chicane. Oh, we have a move just behind. I think that's Jules on Bobo. But Bobo keeps hold of that as Freddie has lost a few places. He's had to go down the runoff. Baby Hornet with 3 seconds as well.
Yeah, lost a lot of time through that. I don't know what happened into turn 1. I was looking a little bit further back. So, I mean, he's got the clear air now, but he just needs to really push on with a very quick Vixen behind.
Yeah, Bobo in danger of dropping out of a second since this restart, but he's managed to get back within 7/10 of Saviour down towards Ascari. Ben holding strong in the lead still, with Saviour keeping in company. Those top 5 again have pulled away from Baby Hornet, who's currently P6 now, but they've really opened up a gap. 2.2 seconds from Ant to Baby Hornet, so that front 5 yet again trying to keep the race to themselves and not let anyone close, as the 2 Hasses have swapped places. So that's a place gain for Chris on his fight back, and Jules with the DRS past Bobo towards the Rettifilio chicane, so that's Jules up to 3rd, Bobo down to 4th. But as they've battled, it's dropped them slightly behind Saviour and Ben, who are still holding on to 1st and 2nd. Ben controlling it very well out front at the moment. He's got 7/10 gap to Saviour through the De La Roger chicane, and they are slowly pulling away from Jules and Bobo, who are fighting hard. We have a yellow flag at Curva Grande. That's Scottish Ninja's McLaren going slowly through that section. Jules did not get DRS from Saviour, so he was just outside the window, as Freddie's got 3 seconds. I think that was through the 2nd Lesmo. Yeah, Jules and Bobo slowly dropping off Saviour and Ben, the front 2, trying to stretch their legs. But Saviour's falling a little...
That's the thing, though, isn't it? I mean, once you get... this is another track, a bit like Netherlands that we were at last week. Once you get outside of that DRS range, it's very, very difficult to start to creep back in, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
you need the slipstream, but you need that overall pace, so it is very, very tough.
Yeah, as we have Vixen moving up to P6 now ahead of Baby Hornet. Micromash has left the session with his because he's retired. Chris Bailey making places as well, but Rassam's got him back. Smith with 3 seconds further back as well. Chris wanting to really make headway, but he's stuck behind. Scottish Ninja's retired in the pits. He's called it a day. He's been struggling for a few laps. Jump back to the front. Saviour really tucked up behind Benz Williams as Jules has got 3 seconds. That's gonna... That's going to...
He's made another move as well, so he's now got Armour ahead of him now. I think he was battling with Rassam early on, so now he's got Armour red.
Yeah, and as we have
the V-carb.
Saviour tucked up behind Ben. Ben goes defensive early, but Saviour's already had enough of a tow, and with the DRS he goes straight through before the chicane locks up a little bit. Both of them trying to get the best traction out the corner. But Ben will be hooked up behind Saviour now as they make the run towards the Della Rogers chicane again for the 12th time.
I think the more harmful bit at this moment in time, and I'm looking through the pack, and there's obviously, of course, a lot of battles. You've got Colin, Vixen, and Baby Hornet. Ooh, who was that? I think I'm not sure who that was. There was somebody went very jumpy over the skin. It might have been Armour Red. Is he under pressure? He's got Gazer Swords in on the inside. Oh, side by side. Chris is now having a look at. Oh, this is going to be close.
We'll drop down.
But that's it, because we've got these battles forming. They're costing themselves. Look at Colin and Baby Hornet and Vixen. They've now dropped over 5 seconds to the leaders. So because of that, you know, as I mentioned, once you drop outside of DRS, it's hard work. But once you're battling as well, Rotterdam with 3 seconds as well. But Armour's going to be under pressure because of his defence. He's now he's outside of Loppy. So this is a difficult one because, like I say, you're outside of that train and you're not going to get the tow, and then people behind you. You mentioned earlier that, you know, you're going to get 10 to 15. I think there might have been Simon, 10 to 15 mile an hour difference down the start-finish straight, especially with the DRS. So yeah, it's hard, and I think Sam might have cut the corner a little bit too much into turn 1.
Yeah, I just had Soze and Chris jumping ahead of Armar with the aid of DRS, and the run down to into the Retafilio chicane. So that's Armar down 2 places. Was looking at that battle, try and get as many battles up and down the grid as best we can for people watching live or when it comes to watching it back.
Yeah. And this is it. I mean, look at Baby Hornet and Con. They've dropped another second, at least, to the top 5. I mean, that says the pace at the top 5 have got all of the effect, all of the battles and the defensive work that each of them are having to do. And, you know, we've seen that Colin and Baby Hornet swap positions a few times, maybe resting a bit of their ERS battery life as well. But hopefully, I mean, this is very hard on fuel, this track. You really do have to overfuel the car, especially in dry conditions. But then, of course, that safety car will have helped the drivers save that little bit more fuel, at least a good lap's worth behind that. So it means they can still go full pelt, not necessarily have to lift and coast, but because you're in the slipstream, and if you're not quite close enough...
Oh, Vixen, that's Vixen.
Vixen to turn 1.
Yeah.
That's Vixen. He's dropped a bunch of pace because of the tight-knit nature of everybody. He's lost a lot of space. He's actually got full battery, funny enough, somehow. So that's what I mean. He was sitting.
He was sitting patiently behind
and
Hornet
able to save that little bit. Yeah. But yeah, the battles still continue throughout the field, and that's it. You know, this is all about the long game, and we've got 13 more laps to go after this one, so over half race distance. But you know, they're not going to really worry about the fuel. They've only got to look at saving the battery as much as possible, and then having whatever tyres they can. As Soze's now got past Loppy, and I think the two, I know it was Armour and Sam further back having a little ding dong as well. But yeah, this is it. I mean, look at Colin, he's now got past Baby Hornet, and they have dropped 8 seconds to the lead bunch.
Yeah, the front five
also
just...
Soze and this group aren't necessarily catching them either. So again, you once you get in your own little sort of bubble, you're sort of stuck there because of those DRS trains. I mean, the top 5 are out of the first chicane and halfway down Curva Grande, and now Baby Hornet, that's coming up to there. Oh, Soze gets a big twitch outside of turn 2, but Chris isn't going to be close enough to take any advantage this time round.
No, but Chris up to P9, so he's making places where he can, but as you say, with all these little pockets of battles happening, it's just dropping them further back from the cars in front, like you say, Baby Hornet and Colin, because they've been scrapping for the past couple laps, find themselves 8.7 seconds behind the front 5, who are just racing amongst themselves. You got Ant, who's been sitting at the back of the 5 pretty much all race, just using it to save battery, and there's not a lot you can do when you're at the back of a DRS train, especially at places like here, for example, and Zandvoort, as you said before, because you drop out of it, there's no way getting back in. But when you're at the back of a DRS train, you're not really able to make any moves because everyone in front of you's got the aid of it as well. But there's been a proper scrap with Bobo and Jules in turn 1, and they've really dropped off Saviour and Ben again, so they've got to try and get back up.
Yeah, they really do. That's going to really hurt. That could just allow those top 2 to really escape now down the road, because that's, you know, it's enough to get a bit of a tow, but because each of them are going to have that DRS from I say from each other, but pushing each other down. I mean, Bobo, we know, is just very quick in Tier 3 last season, and already very competitive in Tier 1. I mean, he's pulled a couple of tenths through the middle of this lap, so this it may be lucky, and may, if he burns a bit of battery, and he looks like he is the way he's clutching, get back within that second, and if he can, down the start finish rate, it may just protect him wherever the detection is.
I think he was just in it for the detection. I think he was inside, I think. But Ben retakes Saviour on the run down to the chicane.
He does have it. Yeah, I'm still keeping my eye on this Soze, Bailey, Loppy, with Sam and Arm a bit further back, having their one now, little ding-dong, unfortunately. For them, they just dropped off the back a little bit.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm watching all this good little duel that's going on, and it's just good fun, actually.
Yeah, Chris is now I can see Chris is now at the front of that pack now, so I wonder if that gap to Baby Hornet and Colin will slowly come down, because we know Chris has got some good pace underneath him, so he's going to want to close that 3.1 seconds down to Colin and Baby Hornet in 6th and 7th. But they're nearly 10.
This is where those sort of drivers need to work together, don't they? They need to sort of, okay, you're going to pass me easily under this DRS, but I'm not going to defend too much. I'm not going to hamper in the braking. We're going to follow and then pass each other easily down the next bit. So this is where they need to sort of do that and play smart. I mean, I know those two are very intelligent drivers. I know Loppy's a very quick driver. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, as you were talking, Jules had jumped ahead. Colin's gone at Ascari.
It is. Is it going to be?
We've only got yellows.
Oh, yeah, it's on the exit, but
that's cleared quickly, though.
It's green.
That was quick.
That.
Bobo back ahead of Jules now into turn 1.
Yeah, that's just released Baby Hornet, so he's now in sort of in clear air himself. can focus on just setting some lap times now and trying to consolidate what he can.
Yeah, and it also allows the ones behind him to probably crawl him back in, because he's got... Oh, it looks like Jules had a moment out of the De La Rocha chicane, which has allowed Ant through into 4th, picking up a place from a slight error. But
yeah, he was actually ghosted. I just quickly jumped to that as you said it, and yeah, he was actually ghosted, so he must have had a moment on the exit for that. And Rotterdam's got another penalty. Let me just go through those penalties for everybody. We've got Jules and Baby Hornet on 3 seconds, Rassam on 3 seconds, Friddy and Smith on 3. Then we have Rotterdam on 9, and Soze had that 10-second penalty under the safety car for hitting Colin when everyone was concertinaed up, and he's got 10 seconds. So there's a lot of positions that are still going to jump around because of a couple of penalties, especially higher up.
Yeah, Ant's actually moved up to 3rd now ahead of Bobo, so Ant's in just being patient, and it's now paying off because he's gained one from Jules early in the lap from a mistake, and now he's managed to get Bobo with DRS, but now he's got clean air, so now Ant's going to look to really put his foot down to close the gap to Saviour and Ben. He almost loses the car under braking into the De La Rocha chicane, but nicely held by Ant. So we have a yellow flag. That's the Rettifilio chicane. That's
Vixen again.
Yeah,
Vixen, yeah. Ooh, as well, get very twitchy. Rotterdam has now very quickly got. He's outbroke himself as well into turn 1. He's got 12 seconds now with penalties and seems to be struggling on the hard tyres. I think he's left his ERS on hot lap actually, so that probably isn't going to help him.
No, because that'll spin the wheels up even.
Sometimes.
Will spin the wheels up even more out of the 2 chicanes.
Yeah, it will. Well, interestingly, the gaps that I've been the battle I was watching, case of Soze, Loppy's now got passed through on Soze, and Steve seems to be dropping off. He's on the back of Loppy, but Chris has pulled a bit of a gap on them and pulled a little bit in on Baby Hornet because they're both in clear air, of course, now. So those two, this is outright pace between Chris and Baby Hornet, who's got a 3-second penalty. And there, Chris is a little bit ahead of the Loppy, and so is a battle. So this is Chris is on the comeback charge now. Of course, he had that wing damage. Oh, Soze goes bouncing over the what do you call it? The De La Rocha chicane in the first corner.
Rettifilio. As Vixen's retired in the pit lane.
Yeah, I don't think he had rear wing damage, but hey ho. Anyway, everyone who's watching, please do
Soze and Loppy side by side into the De La Rocha chicane. They're really scrappy, which is losing them time to Chris up the road, who's just exited Lesmo 2. But as you say, Chris,
he's getting half a second at least this lap on that little battle, and the gap's about average with Baby Hornet at this point. So yeah, they just brought Rassam and Armour back into play as well. So I think this battle in the outer reach of the top 10 is definitely not over by a long shot. Now there's the battle for the lead and battle for the podium place, really.
Yeah, because Ant's back up to 3rd. Bobo went defensive early. Ant went on through. Ben is trying to open up that 1 second from Saviour, and he's just got it above a second, so now he's just got to try and hold on to that the best he can for the majority of this lap. But with the nature,
into the second chicane, so it's a long way to go before he can sort of use a bit of that. We've got we've got that the 2 Lesmos here. It's going to be interesting to see what Saviour does, and that's the point where you get the dirty air as well. But Saviour seems to be quite strong through there. I looked on board one of his qualifying laps. He had a little bit of understeer on the soft tyres, but his car seems to be working okay and seems quite nice and responsive on the heavier fuel and the harder compound tyres. So yeah, not letting Benny get away at all at this point.
Yeah, because he's got that gap back down to 8/10, so he's definitely within DRS very easily. And with that as well, opening up the gap ever so slightly to the likes of Ant, Bobo and Jules in 3rd, 4th and 5th. And Baby Hornet 11.3 seconds off the top 5. Chris has got that gap down to 2.3, but still got the front two.
Back a little bit, yeah.
As Bobo playing leapfrog with Ant again, as they're actually dropping, they've dropped Jules a little bit.
They have on this last lap, yeah. I mean, Johannes, otherwise known as Bobo, very good commentator as well, actually.
Yeah, I've listened back to him a few times. He's really took to it like a duck to water, so credit to him joining the comms team and just taking to it and just running with it.
Yeah, I mean, I made the mistake of bringing them in to Zandvoort last week, and normally I do go through, try and do corner names, apart from I don't know the ones for this, you do. But the last thing I was going to do, as soon as I started, I was like, let's do the corner names, and I thought, actually, I'm with a Dutchman on comms. No chance. Not a chance am I going to do that. I thought, I'm not going to upset. And he's a really nice guy. He's a good guy. Jules has got another 3 seconds, actually.
Yeah, that's going to hamper him towards the end.
I'm just not going to... Yeah, that's pretty much cements his 5th as it stands with 5 laps to go. But, yeah, I wasn't going to go coordinate on Zandvoort with a Dutchman sat next to me talking to me on comms. No, thanks. I say some daft things. I'm not that daft. I hadn't had enough runs, so I wasn't going to do it.
Mind you, it could be worse. You could have Ant going full Italian at the start of a stream like he did at the start of the Tier 2 one.
Oh, nice. I mean, where was it? I can't remember what we did, and we brought him into a stream, and I can't remember who we did it with, who didn't know they were late to the party and didn't know and we thought he was French and spoke a bit of English, and we just brought him in, and Ant just came in and started speaking fluent French, and confused the life out of someone. I can't remember who it was, but it was hilarious.
I mean, he can speak he's fluent in quite a few languages.
I think he speaks a bit of Portuguese as well, does Antia? And
yeah,
he is our multinational teammate, isn't he? And yeah, I think we've got 4 more laps after this, and I don't think the win is done. I don't think the battle for 3rd is done either. Chris is slowly using a bit of the slipstream from a distance to close, and the Baby Hornet has got another 3 seconds. That's actually going to hurt him more with the Loppian and battle, really.
Yeah,
they're running on the fringes of that sort of 6 seconds. Rassam, of course, has got that 3 seconds, but with Loppy and Armour Red, they don't have any as yet, so that's going to hurt Baby Hornet, I think, towards the end. So, yeah, I don't think a lot of these places are done and dusted as yet.
No, and with a few places further back as well, it's not quite over. I mean, with the penalties, as you say, it's going to be quite a shake-up after the check and flag, and obviously, as we all know, the finishing order after the flag is only provisional regarding stewards, which hopefully we will not have to rely on afterwards. But Saviour keeping in touch with Ben in these closing laps. I think what Saviour's probably doing at the moment is just sitting behind Ben and probably leaving it until probably running onto the last lap, because ideally you want to be the lead car going into the Rettifilio chicane. Yes, you got the DRS from Lesmo 2 down towards Ascari, but it's such an easier place to do it down towards Rettifilio than down towards Ascari. So I would say Saviour's just keeping in touch with Ben, with the laps ticking down, lap 25 or 27, only a couple to go. Ben has been controlling it and keeping himself nice and tidy as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Obviously, we don't show it on stream unless we're on board, because you see it on the steering wheel. But the ERS levels are quite level, and it's interesting to see both as they're... Oh, this Benny gets very slidey. But yeah, it's interesting to see their usage. Both of them are playing very clever with their use of their ERS batteries, and both very similar as well. So yeah, this is really interesting. I'm liking this.
Yeah, a bit of gamesmanship was, as you say, we don't like to give too much information on this through on stream for certain people watching and probably giving feedback to any of the drivers, which isn't against any rules or anything, because obviously there's people in parties and they just want to help each other out and vice versa. As we're about to start the penultimate lap, lap 26 of 27. The gap back to Ant is 4.2 seconds. Ant will be wanting to hold on to third place the best he can. He missed he didn't miss last week. So he didn't get in the top 3 though, so he'll be getting a top 3 finish for the Tier 1 category in X-Treme, so that'll be good points to him, but that's if he can hold off Bobo in the closing laps. Tier 2 is currently led by, I think it's Rassam in P8.
No, but he's number 1, isn't he? Yeah, I think it is actually. Yeah,
Rassam leading Tier 2 in P8 ahead of Lorpe and the other Alpine, and the lead car in Tier 3 is B17 in P12. So they're your tier leaders going into these closing stages, as Ben has really put Bobo with 3 seconds. Yes, and Chris is within DRS of Baby Hornet now, but Ben really using a bit more battery to try and get Xavier out of DRS, but I think Xavier was just in the detection. We'll soon find out.
He was. But
no, he wasn't.
He's not using.
I don't think he was within it.
I'm surprised by that. No, he came up, so I don't know. I'm surprised about that.
But yeah, Bobo's got Ant for P3 going into the final lap. Bit of a lock up into the chicane, which has allowed Ant to close back in. But Ant doesn't really need to overtake Bobo. He can sit behind him for this last lap with that 3 seconds. So that's really going to hurt Bobo. As I see Chris has made a move on Baby Hornet at the Rettifilio chicane. So that's Chris up to P6. Great comeback for him. Jump back to the front as we enter the rundown to Ascari for the very last time. Ben been controlling the pace ahead of Xavier, keeping him within arm's length to keep the lead as long as he can. Xavier's going to be closing on the rundown to Parabolica.
Xavier's got an answer. I don't think Xavier's got an answer to Benny. I think Xavier's used most of his battery. Benny's kept it, and Benny's going to power towards the line.
Yep. Ben takes the win overall and Tier 1, but who's going to get the last podium space? It's Ant, with Bobo missing out with the 3 seconds, but Bobo gets the fastest lap with a 1:21.5. On the last lap.
Wow.
So Bobo must have really been pushing on that last lap.
Wow. Yeah.
Jules gets P5 behind them. Chris brings it home 6th. Baby Hornet. As Lorpe gets P7, so Lorpe gets the provisional Tier 2 25 points after the shuffling of penalties. So we'll run through the order once everyone's finished, so we get the full provisional classifications. We're just waiting on Freddy and B17 to cross the line, as Freddy comes home in 12th, and B17 will round off the finishers on the lead lap in 13th. Had plenty of battles through that up and down the grid, and it was never over until the last lap. The game has given Lorpe driver of the day, but we'll discuss that after we've ran through the finishing order. As Ben takes the glory in front of the Italians. But I'm sure the Italian fans in the crowd will be happy to at least have a Ferrari on the podium at least, so they'll have something to shout about. So run through the provisional order. Just had a bit of a moment there. So Ben takes the win provisionally with Saviour third. Ant rounds off the podium. Bobo P4, Jules 5th, Chris 6th, Lorpy 7th, and also first in Tier 2. Armar 8th, Baby Hornet 9th, Rassam 10th, Sozi 11th, Freddy 12th, B17 13th, and also 25 points for Tier 3. Smith 14th, RS Dam 15th, and then the non-classifications of Vixen, Colin, Scottish Ninja, and Micro Mash. So there's a few drivers who could possibly have driver of the day for this. You've had Ben controlling the pace out front and just making sure he needed to do what he did to take the win overall. Chris with his comeback drive after that safety car restart to get back up into P6. Lorpy as well from where he started to where he finished. So, but I'm quite tempted to go. I'm a bit torn between Chris's recovery drive after the safety car and the control and the nature of how he won the race overall with Ben, just the way he controlled it out front and kept Saviour at arm's length for the closing stages, because with the nature of Monza it's not easily done and he controlled that very, very well, so I'm a bit torn between those two.
Yeah, I'm personally going to go with Chris for his comeback drive. I know with the wing damage he had. So personally, I'm leaning towards Chris. But yeah, everybody you mentioned there was definitely up there.
Yeah,
I think with that one and worthy of a definite mention. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think on that note, the fact with the wing damage and that he had to make all the position gains on track, I think I will give mine to Chris as well. I was torn between him and Ben, but I'll give it to Chris as well. So Chris gets the driver of the day from both me and Mark. That is it for Monza here at MRC. Next round will be the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku. The first one of 5 races at that circuit will start on Friday at 7:30, and your commentators for that one will be myself and Tier 2's very own Andrew Monster for that one. And then it'll be Tier 2 getting Monday underway from 7 o'clock, followed by the big guns in Tier 1, including the captain himself alongside me. Mark Hodgson will be a part of that one. And they'll be at quarter to, hopefully, yeah. And that one will get underway at 8:45. And then we'll be racing again on Wednesday with Tier 3 at 7 o'clock. And then X-Treme follows that on from 8:45. It's been quite an eventful week at Monza. We've had all the fun and high speed, but it's going to be a different nature of circuit when we head to Baku on Friday. So just one last thing to say is thank you for being alongside on comms, Mark. It's not often we get to do it, and it's always a pleasure to do so whenever we get the chance.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. Yeah, thank you for having me. Glad I could make it and help out. Absolutely. No, thank you, and thank you everybody for watching, and thank you, Carl. Thank you everybody for the drivers as well. So yeah, we'll see you in about 48 hours time, just less than, and looking forward to it.
So that's goodbye from me and Mark.
Good night.